As the popularity of Ozempic-type drugs like Semaglutide soars, what do we need to know about their effect on our weight? Even these newfangled anti-obesity medications aren't a magic bullet. The overall weight loss benefits are notable, but nonetheless limited. The best of them can produce a 20 to 25% weight loss, but they still leave most users overweight or obese, only modestly less so, and thus still facing major health risks. And of course, the drugs are only effective as long as they're used. Not only does the weight loss plateau, but years, or presumably a lifetime of continuing treatment is required just to maintain their initial benefits, and most people stop taking them within months before even reaching an effective dose. The manufacturers recommend ramping up dosage over 4 or 5 months, but based on 169,000 real-world patients, using GLP-1 drugs for weight management, most individuals didn't stay on their prescribed treatment for even 3 months, which suggests it was unlikely they were achieving clinically meaningful weight loss. In fact, only about half take the drug for even 2 months, and 80% quit by 6 months. Why don't people stick with it? One reason may be that these drugs are costly, and costly is a bit of an understatement. The cost of these drugs are enormous, like $1,000 a month, in perpetuity, since any lost pounds can pile back on if you stop taking them. Wegovy, the high-dose Ozempic used for weight loss, costs up to about $1,350 a month, so that's like paying $15,000 out of pocket every year. And some say healthy eating is expensive. You could have food as medicine programs deliver healthy food to your door for 10 times less. You could even have fully prepared meals delivered to your door at a fraction of the cost of the drug. Of course, the drugs should get cheaper. There are hopes that competition will lower prices, but each GLP-1 drug is protected by approximately 20 patents, many up to 2040 or beyond, so they probably won't get much cheaper anytime soon. But isn't obesity itself expensive? Even factoring in health benefits and discounted prices, these drugs may not be cost-effective. One analysis, total annual health care costs doubled for patients, going from about $13,000 per year before starting the drug to $26,000 after. Now, the benefits of weight loss accrue over time, but because lost pounds are commonly regained after stopping the drug, an additional vexing conundrum is created for payers like insurance companies. Why shell out all that money to get people the drug if most are just going to stop taking it and simply regain the weight? Why are the drugs so expensive? There is no rational reason other than greed, according to Senator Sanders, noting that Canadians and Germans are paying about 10 times less for the same drugs. Wegovy, the high-dose Ozempic used for weight loss, can sell for $1,300 a month in the US, but less than $100 a month in the UK. Here's what different countries pay for the exact same dose of Ozempic. The researchers even calculated the estimated minimum price, how much it could be manufactured and sold profitably for. So for $40 a month, Novo Nordisk, the makers of Ozempic, could be pulling in a 10% profit margin. But why make 10% profit when you can make more than 3,000% profit? But don't they need those huge profit margins to recoup research and development? It's expensive to develop drugs. Novo Nordisk spends twice as much money enriching its shareholders by doing things like stock buybacks to jack up stock prices than it does on all R&D. In fact, most big drug companies spend more in these kind of self-enrichment schemes than actual research. Whatever the actual cost of developing a drug, drug companies may spend far more on marketing drugs than developing them. For example, while gouging patients $1,000 a month for their drugs, Novo Nordisk was spending millions of dollars whining and dining doctors to prescribe more of them. Hundreds of thousands of meals and snacks served to promote drugs like Ozempic. In fact, Novo Nordisk was actually suspended from a pharmaceutical industry trade association for failing to disclose its sponsorship of a training course for healthcare professionals that just so happened to plug one of its GLP-1 drugs, a violation bad enough for the Royal College of Physicians to sever its ties with the drug giant. Anyway, back to the original question, why do so few people stay on these drugs? Well, people may start out obese and end up obese. Is it worth paying $1,000 a month just to stay less obese? You can see why people might just cut their losses. But no. The study that showed that most people quit these drugs after just a few months were not only insured, they had their drugs covered by their insurance. So maybe the reason most people quit so soon after starting is not due to their cost, but rather their side effects, which we'll cover next.